The most influential text in Daoism is Tao Jing around the time of 400 to 350 BC, sparked the growth of religion from that point forward. However, there is no one singular sacred text or god. Much like Hinduism, Taoism refers to the flow of life that each individual is on its own path, that humans and nature should live in harmony and all should give respect to every life form. Taoism in ancient China is described as a utopian time where people were not rushed and nature was unharmed by human construism. All life forms developed to their full individual potential, yet all species lived in harmony with one another. This was characterized by the way and its virtue, then destroyed by Confucius and his concepts of how a society should be. The story states that one day in that utopian land, where all lived in harmony, Confucius came to the people with his own ideas of morals and righteousness, which in turn segregated the people from the people and the people from the land. This segregation caused people to become agitated, rushed, and disconnected with the earth. There was a rift in the natural Taoist flow, and in turn the harmony which once existed no longer had a place in the land. The compatibility of life forms is equally important, as it rejects the view that humans can live happily and sustainability if they control or destroy other life, or the natural world they live in. In this story, like others, it questions Confucian actions and justification in the name of virtue as benevolence and righteousness on the ground that Confucianism rejected the compatibility assumptions and transforms the social into a slim range of experiences, specifically that of human beings. The story describes a time in which the environment in Confucius China was heavily influenced by Taoist ways of living, exemplified through the way and its virtue. The land during this time period was created naturally and then untouched by mankind, leaving it to flourish in the most natural sense there is. This ability to exist so freely and without the tainted ideas of human allows the land to flow in a Taoist manner, meaning that all the plant and animal life not only have the ability to, but will indeed follow its life path and develop to its fullest potential. This story of perfect virtue reminds the people of that land who have disrupted the natural flow of life that there was a time when humans and Mother Nature were able to coexist with one another in a peaceful and balanced manner. In this respect, it is important to note that humans of this time were willing to be a part of nature instead of rushing the land and claiming pieces as their own, like most society members do today. The Confucius appeared in this land bringing his theories of morality and righteousness, which in turn divided the perfect balance of the environment and its people, instead creating a rift in the ability of the two to come together and living as one. This part of the story emphasizes the notion of individualism versus community living.
However, not all of us can relate to a story about Confucius dividing the land and upsetting the natural flow of the people based on his morals or rightness. Upon hearing the story, one of my own popped into my head, and suddenly I realized I've practiced Taoism in my own life. In high school, I went to a summer camp for 4 years called Pilgrim Lodge. It was organized much like your typical American summer camp. Students stayed for the week, meet peers of their age, create bonds that last a lifetime. Expected, right? But what wasn't expected was the unintentional Taoist religious affiliation. This camp is advertised as a Christian faith-based summer camp. However, members of all religions and lack thereof attend regardless, because the Christianity isn't forced upon you. Rather, it is used as a general grounds for respect, love, and community through a morning and evening hour-long service. Upon entering the grounds of Pilgrim Lodge, you find yourself in the forest overlooking a serene lake where the sun rises and sets beautifully regardless of rain or clouds. You leave your phone at home for the week and there is no internet access. The only connections there are to make are with those surrounding you. This camp is based on social relationships, appreciation of nature, and respect for all living things. A camp favorite song is called All God's Critters, which illuminates the idea that all animals have a place in this world and we must all live together in harmony. Personally, attending this camp for 4 years when I was having so many changes in my own life really altered who I am in the most positive way possible. I didn't realize Taoism was so integrated into my own everyday life. I learned how to love the earth, care for the environment, and connect with those around me by putting away all of my technology. Upon returning home at the end of the week, I would often leave my phone off for as many hours as I could until it was pertinent that I turn it back on. This person I was allowed to be at Pilgrim Lodge was the person I wanted to be all the time, without technology distractions, with every person around me experiencing the same harmonious flow of life that I was. The Taoist approach to living is to be in a perfect, constant flow with one's surroundings. But the rift in the balance of the community caused by Confucius idealizes one individual's ability to be above the rest of the community. Having a separate identity allows one being to create a group or class of people, signifying that one person is above or below the rest of the totem pole, which completely disrupts that natural Taoist flow of life. How can one reach their full potential naturally if an individual disturbs this course of life? This pathway to full potential will no longer be in the hands of fate and is under the influence of this higher class person. It is this reason why Taoist beliefs do not include one singular sacred text or spiritual power to define their ways of living, and instead live according to the natural push and pull of life in accordance with the environment.